So, what's up with it, man? Hope everybody's good and blessed. Um, so I want to talk about a story because I've been seeing a lot of like crazy aspects where people start talking about, and I've seen it a lot with like, especially in the aspect of like California and even out here, but out here in Colorado, um, the Sureño, especially Sureño, like cities and stuff. Um, if you basically ain't theirs, they don't really have anything for nobody, right? And a lot of people, a lot of gangs just kind of out here in Colorado, especially Denver, they just got a bad taste for Sureños all the way around. The city of Denver used to be no tolerance for a lot of Sureño hoods, like because they didn't really have a presence. Now they do. You know, there's a presence in Denver. Like I really ain't seen it because I ain't been in the streets like that. But there's a presence out here in the Denver metro. But when I was growing up, there was not really a tolerance for Sureños. Everything else but Sureños, you didn't really see them, you know. Um, and I know Colorado definitely, they if you want Sureño, you know what I'm saying. They didn't really mess with anybody. Now in California, see, a lot of people have. I think a lot of people get a misconception that Sureños just beef with every black fool, that Sureños just beef with every black gang or whatever. But that's not really actually factual. Like there's actually Sureño hoods and Crip hoods that share the same neighborhood, don't have beef. Um, like there's a lot of thing that people get misconstrued about the internet because there's a lot of fools that are always going to push negativity. They always want to see people divided and tripping. But in California, there's actually black hoods that share hoods with Mexican hoods and Sureño hoods that are, you know, they don't have no war with Crip hoods or whatever. So, a lot of people, I think, they be tripping on that and they try to push it too much. Now, don't get me wrong, there's actually hoods from back in the day for sure that have a history of war, that have a history of war, and it seems like it's racial all the way, but that's not every neighborhood out there. But out here in Denver, Colorado, for sure. I mean, out here in Colorado, the Sureños really be pushing their line, and then Denver Metro really was pushing their line on Sureños. Um, so when I go to the penitentiary, and I'm already had done like 4 or 5 years. Um, the number one, especially to the Crips, the number one situation that always would pop off was with Sureños. The homies would always get into it with the Sureños because in Colorado penitentiaries, when I was doing time, it was majority Crips was the deepest and the Sureños was the deepest. So it was always like a power thing, bro. It was always like some fools would get deep, the Crips would get deep, and then they would make problems with the Sureños, and it would turn into a bang session, and then it would turn into a group session where fools are banging, right? So my whole time doing prison time, the Sureños were like the number one rivals to the Crips on the yards just because of the numbers. Both had numbers. The Crips had the most numbers and the Sureños had the most numbers. So my whole time, the Sureños were like the biggest enemigos to the Crips on prison yards. Not the Bloods. The Bloods never had numbers like that. No disrespect to the Bloods, but usually the Crips outnumbered the Bloods on every yard that I've been to. And the Bloods just did their own thing. The Dom Moos just basically did their own thing. And it was not really like a big old warfare or big old bang sessions with the Bloods. Now, there has been for sure, but my whole stay, just because of the racial tensions, and it was just a dominant domino effect fools would be tripping with each other and get into it. And there was a lot of bangs, bro, with the Sur13s from the homies, the Crip homies. Um, so I go to the halfway house. I go to Phoenix Center, and I get in trouble and I go back to the penitentiary. I go back to the yard, bro. They send me back for my remainder MRD. And I don't even know about this place whatsoever. They're like, you're going to Bent County Correctional Facility. I'm like, what the hell is Bent? I heard of Bent, but it was never like a main prison that you hear of because it's a private. So I pull up, and when I pull up to Bent County Correctional Facility, off top, you can just tell the atmosphere at this time is just like youngsters that really don't have no guidance. Like it's not really serious enough where they're like programming to the max. So it's a lot of youngsters that are in gang banging that don't have no guidance. There's not really, when they say key holders, there's not really none of that going on. So there's a lot of little knuckleheads, Crowley, Bent County, you know what I'm saying? Like privates that just run around and just cause hecticness, like doing what they're doing. Like there's not really a program. So there's a lot of fools causing trouble. And when I get to the yard, it was the first time I ever seen the Denver car really, like when I talk about the Denver car really be together. And it was a trip to me because the Denver car consisted of Northside fools, G's, Chicano Bloods, Odies, Chickies from Swansea, Glowville. There was even some Ace from Pueblo. Everybody that didn't get along with the Sur13s, they formed a thing called the Denver car to go at the Sur13s. And I talk about this. Every hood that had beef with Sur13s would join this Denver car because it gave them numbers, right? And we're on the yard, and it's kind of interesting because even with the Crips, the youngsters had more power than some of the fools that were the OGs, because the OGs didn't take Bent County Correctional Facility as a serious yard. So the OGs from the Keyways were not even really making fools fall in line. There was not really no protocol. The youngsters were running the yard, really. They were running around just doing whatever they want. And I remember this was around the time that if you hear about the East Side the A-Tray Gangsta Crips and the East Side Riders, this was the first time they formed was in Bent County. And the reason why that's so crazy is because the East Side Riders is from East Denver, and the A-Tray Gangsters is from California, and one's from the West Side and one's from the East Side, and they literally clicked up and they started calling it When the East Meets West. It was called When the East Meets West, and it was basically A-Tray Gangsta Crips and the East Side Riders from East Denver. They were pushing a line together. So you see that and you're like, damn, bro, that's kind of crazy, because nowhere else does the East Side even click up with any West Side hood. When you go to Denver and you go to prison in Colorado, you don't, like, East Side is never gonna click up with the West Side and have them fools basically calling any kind of shots. And the fool that really was calling shots was OG Hog from A-Tray Gangsters. He had a lot of the East Side Riders. He had them turned up, and they were turned up. But that's how Bent County kind of was, and it was kind of weird to see this, because no other yard you're ever gonna get that out here in Denver. Like in Colorado, you're not gonna get that. You're gonna have three different cars: the West Side car, the East Side car, the Springs car, Northern Colorado car with the Crips, right? But you had these fools all riding as one unit. And when they did it, I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of problems for a lot of people, because they were the Crips were just so deep on that. And they were beating up everybody. And when I say beating up everybody, it didn't matter what car you were. It didn't matter what hood you were. It didn't matter what organization you were. The Crips were causing hecticness on them yards. They were doing stuff that you can't do on other yards, going in fools' sows and just beating fools up left and right from every hood. Like, it was so bad that the Crips had to get separated at Benton County because they were doing so much. That's just the bottom line. So all of a sudden, the LPPs, this is another gang, a prison gang, they hit the yard, and there's like 6 or 7 of the LPPs that hit the yard, right? And I talked about the LPPs. There's a lot of fools that joined the LPP that used to be different neighborhoods and different areas, right? And they joined the LPP unit or Brotherhood, right? And a lot of them fools used to be Northsiders from LPP. So when this occurred, the Sur13s were deep at this time, right? No, actually, let's back up a little bit. The Sur13s were actually, they didn't have like the numbers that they had on other yards, and they weren't really like pushing the program all the way, right? That's why when the Denver car had formed, they got rushed in Benton County in the 7A side because they didn't really have the numbers, and they were not making their homies program to a T where you seen them on other yards programming. So they were at a disadvantage, and the Denver car had the numbers, and the LPP approached the Denver car and basically said, hey, let's click up. So then the Chicano Red Rags seen a perfect opportunity, and people started saying, hey, we should do a red flag takeover. Push all the Sur13s off the yard. Every red flag hood, from the Northside Mafia fools that were pushing red rags to the Norteños to the Chicano Bloods to even some of the oldies that pushed the red, like the red. And they all came together and they started saying, hey, this is the red flag takeover. Well, when this happens, like I said, the Crips were hella deep, and the Sur13s had some relations with one of the OGs from the Crips, and they were breaking bread together, and they were both had ties to the land. And you know what the Sur13s did? They hit the OG Crip and said, hey, we should form a blue flag united on the yard. That's ridiculous, because you never would hear that, because that's just not common, because when it breaks down, that it's racial in prison, right? People say it's racial. The Sur13s will never ever do that on any other yard, but they approached the OG Crip and said, hey, let's tie the flags together and become united blue flags. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is not gonna last, because we get into it too much with the Sur13s on the yards to actually be pushing unite the blue flag, because everybody else was uniting the red flags from the other units and the other cars. So we're chilling, right? And this is how I know it was wild, homie. The homies that were on the yard at the time were doing workouts, and in Benton County, it's a big old Thunderdome, especially when you're on the set and you're in the 7 unit. It's a big Thunderdome. Like, it's a gang of rooms and 2 tiers, and it's just huge. And in the mornings, we had to program and do workouts. Like, we had a workout in the morning, and I remember chilling and sipping some coffee, and all of a sudden, this fool from, I'm not gonna say names, but he was a Sur13s OG. He's the one that was like running their car. He comes and daps up the OG Crip fool, and he said it's time. And then the Sur13s all come out, and they go out, and like in Benton County, you go to the chow hall, and then all of a sudden the OG Crip fool hops up, and all his homies, they follow. And then we follow, because it's just, now it's like, what the heck is going on? So we all follow, and the Sur13s walked into where the chow hall is. We're right behind them, and they start pressing the LPPs and the fools that were saying that they were down with the red flag united. And all of a sudden, these fools see us, and they see the Crips right behind the Sur13s, and it looked awkward, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. That shit looked hella awkward. You got Sur13s, and then you got the Crips. And them fools didn't know what, because nobody would ever think of that shit. Nobody would ever actually be like, that is two gangs that they're gonna actually unite the flags. It was just the most interesting thing, and it was like the most uncomfortable thing, is because like I said, doing time, the Crips and the Sur13s never ever would tie their flags together. But at this time, because the Crips were so deep and the Sur13s really honestly had relations, that's what they approached. What up with it? What up with it? Yeah, that shit was wild, homie. And I'm gonna say it like this: if you an outsider looking in, there's no way you could even say that. There's nobody gonna get in trouble. Snitching is when somebody gets in trouble, brother. Like, if you don't know that definition, don't speak about that. If somebody were to get in trouble, then that's considered snitching. You got to know the difference. These are just stories, bro. Testimonies. Ain't nobody gonna get in trouble behind that, you know. But it was wild, bro, to think of that. And like I said, and the reason why, the reason why I was even, you know what I'm saying, talking about this is because there's a misconception that, like, especially in the land, bro, especially in different areas, that the Sur13s and the Crips, just over racial aspect, that it's just a racial tension, that fools just be killing each other. You know what I'm saying? That they just be killing each other. But it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's basically, everybody got personal situations, but then they got relations also, relationships. I be working, my homie Matthew. I be working like intensely hours. What up, Big Seth? What's cracking with y'all? Mall High salute. Yeah, I'm headed to work. Hey, Amos, what's up with it, man? The Padres, yeah, they were on the yard, bro. It was crazy because I didn't even know. I honestly didn't even know a lot of them fools used to be like from the north. There's a lot of north side fools that used to be down with them fools. And then I knew a couple of them, you know. But yeah, I'm going to work. I just thought that was interesting because I seen a big ass, I seen fools going to war in a comment section. I'm checking like my other channel that I had. And I be seeing all these long like conversations that fools be tripping in these panels and different things. I'm like, damn. I hope y'all good. Have a good day. Yeah, I'm good, man. I just getting out this little gym. Getting out this gym, getting to this money. I was in building A, 11 months, never hit a yard thing. Nah, like I was saying the other night, bro, it's so much different now than when I was doing time, homie. You know? And the reason why that was crazy, the Bend County story, homie, and the Bend County situation, is because I never seen a yard like Bend County. That shit was wide open, homie. Like even the controlled movement, like there's usually controlled movement in other facilities. Bend County didn't even have controlled movement. You could actually sneak out. You could sneak out of your unit and go to the other side of the facility, act like you're going to GED. They didn't really have a controlled movement per se, like where they locked down the whole facility at controlled movement. I mean, when they have a controlled movement, like Bend County was just wide open. I used to always be sneaking to other units, bro, from my unit, you know? Yeah, so that's just wild. That county was probably I don't know, bro. It was kind of weird to see it like that too. There wasn't really no protocol at Bend County, bro. And when I had seen the Denver car forum, that was interesting. And they had approached me, bro, with being a part of the Denver car. And I was like, when I had seen it, I was like, what the hell is the Denver car? Like, that shit was interesting. Like they said, hey, the Denver car is like everybody riding together. Everybody was riding together. I said, nah, I can't just ride with these fools because I don't even get along with these fools. I couldn't just team up with the people that I had conflicts with. I was like, nah, I can't be a part of that. Now it was a good thing though. Like it was a good thing for them dudes because it gave them a little more numbers and protection, you know. But it was not something that I could even get down with because then it was like I would have to push my personal issues with these fools to the side and be like, yeah, I'm gonna ride with you guys. We gonna ride over some stuff that I don't really even in my life I didn't really even have. I really didn't even come across the Sureños. That was one thing. That was another thing too. Is like I never even had any conflicts with any Sureños because Sureños, like I said, for the most part, was non-existent. You know, they were not in Denver like that to have beef with, bro. So that whole cause was like, I can't join this Denver car just because these other fools really they have beef with the Sureños because I don't really have beef with that was not the people that we used to have conflicts with. There was no conflicts in the neighborhood that I was from with the Sureños because there was no Sureños in the east side, bro, at all. We didn't see Sureños in the east side, homie. So I never had a hatred for Sureños. That wasn't even an organization we seen in the east side. There wasn't one bit that I ever seen a Sureño or seen them fools in the east side. So they were not the enemies. They weren't enemies or nothing, bro. Like we didn't have no hatred towards that. What up, Big Jess? You know. So when they had hit us up with the Denver car, I'm like, what is this all for? But there was actually a motive why they wanted to start the Denver car, and that was to beef with Sureños. So I was like, damn. Are you sure this is going to carry on to other penitentiaries? Are you sure this is going to carry on to other facilities? Because is this only on the Benton County facility? Because once you go to other facilities, let's say that the Denver car gets at the Sureños, right? You go to another facility, that's going to domino effect, and then you got a hella target on your back. You got a hella target on your back. It's just plain and simple. You got to watch what you do. I said, nah, I can't be a part of that. I'm not teaming up with these fools. I have beef with them on the west side. They stabbed me 6 times. Yeah, see, I never seen them, homie. The only time I ever seen them was at Jumbo's car wash. And they all looked like Pisces at the time. But I hear stories. I just never seen them have a presence whatsoever. I never seen them fools say, hey, this is where these fools' hood is. You know? That was always like some little city things. Woo! I'm at work though. Jumbo's car wash, yeah. Going up. I was shit. You sound gay. Nice. He said, damn, that's crazy. I could see the comment. I used to see them on the west side, never on the east side. Yeah, like I said, bro, I never seen them on the east side ever. I never seen a Sureño in my life till I knew what they were and I seen them, but till I got to the penitentiary, then I seen them, you know. And like I said, bro, in the penitentiary, my whole stay before the Benton County situation, the Keyways and the Sureños would always get into it. Like that was the number one situations, like because of the number game. The Crips were always deep and the Sureños were always deep at every facility I went to, you know. So it would always be like a power struggle. I was involved in activities. I wore a red rag. Okay. And when I go to jail, it was always common for me to link with other red sets and North Daniels as well. I'm glad that's as you know, and that's one thing, bro. As long as you realize that, as long as you realize it, my homie, you have a good head on your shoulders, man. Keep doing your thing. Because at a point in time, homie, it gets old. All that too. And when I'm talking about this and I'm thinking about this right now, I'm like, damn, bro, that's a headache to think about all the programming and everything that was going on. It just sounds crazy, bro. You know, it used to be a thing where it's like, okay, this is what we do, this is what's up, this is what politicking is. And now that I think about it, I'm like, man, that's de-energizing. That's de-energizing, bro. That done wasted and drained all my energy, you know? Damn, see them in Denver County and city jails though. Nah, and you want to know what's a trip? It got so bad because, like, if you recall back in, I think, like the early 2000s, the G's and the Sureños had got into it on I think in Lyman. They get into it in the penitentiary. And I remember when I called my case in 2004, I felt bad, bro, because there was this little fool that came through. He was I think he was actually from, if I recall, Longo, or he was from Florencia, homie. And he hit the county, and the G's right off top knew he was a Sureño. And Lil G Ride had got at this fool. They started banging, boom, boom, boom. They go to the hole, and the little fool was a fighter though. He got into it with the G's, and he was fighting like 2, 3 of them fools. Well, they crashed him out eventually. But I remember this, bro. And somebody had told me this. They said, I hope that G fool don't, the fool baby G Ride, homie. That was the homie too. I said, that's gonna have a domino effect, because he was a youngster. He never been to prison. I said, when he gets to the pen, watch that domino effect. Watch it domino effect. And sure enough, they ran into each other in prison. But at this time, the Sureños were deep. And I guess they got at that fool, Lil G Ride from the G. It's always a domino effect, see? In the county, the G's had the numbers in Denver County, bashed the little Sureño out. And like I said, he was a rider though. He got it in. Like he didn't check out of the unit. He was still fighting, but they had the numbers at the time, bro. And they got at him pretty viciously. But it came back around when he hit that compound. Them Sureños was on that fool's head. I was in high school at the time, and there was some West Side school that used to get into it with the G's. Into it with the G's then. Oh, you used to get into it with the G's? Yeah, I got a lot of relatives that are G's, and homies that I knew that were G. They was always showing the homies love, because at the end of the day, them fools' main enemies were kind of like the Crips' main enemies too, on the West Side. But you know what it is, man. I'm gonna run into this work day, man. I hope all you guys are blessed. Elijah 4811. That's crazy. One of the little youngsters here at my work is Elijah, bro. That's his name. That's a good. I'm gonna give him that Bible verse. I used to see them on the West Side back in the 2000s, 2006. I was in building A, counting 11 months, never hit the yard. Have a good day. You know what it is, bro. So sad. What's up with it, man? Have a blessed day. Yeah, my cousin Ray Ramirez is a G. He's locked up. Yeah, that's some of the relatives, bro. That's some of the homies, man. They were a lot of solid dudes from back in the day, though. They was solid, homie. There was a solid bunch of OGGs that just had a lot of respect, you know. But like we always say, homie, over time shit crumbles from every organization. No, the Sureños used to get into it with the G's in the West Side. Damn. Yeah. Now, I hear that from a couple people, bro. I just never, like I said, homie, the only time I ever seen the Sureños like in Denver Metro was by the car wash jumbos, bro. They had an apartment complex right across the street, and the Sureños would be in that apartment complex, and every Sunday night they would be deep. But that was like the only time. But if you went to like Montbello or Aurora, they had a gang of them fools. They had a gang of little cliques over there in Montbello and Aurora. That was like where the Sudanos would be. Hell yeah, we gonna get it, man. It's over the hump day too. It's over Humpy Hump. The stream chat. Yeah, I remember Jumbo's car wash. They used to bang every Sunday night, homie. That was like, and that was like a daily car wash, bro. Because once you got in there and the car started piling up, you couldn't just drive out the car wash. Like you were stuck, bro. Especially when people were cruising, you used to be stuck over there. It'd be like, damn. Everybody would be stuck. You would be stuck in that car wash. So if fools got to shooting, there was no way to drive out of that car wash. That was the good old days of when Denver allowed people to cruise, though, too. All right, let me make sure I got everything. Yeah, that was the days when Denver allowed you to cruise, bro. They shut it all down. They shut it all the way down. You can't cruise on Federal like you did when I was growing up. And one of the big reasons why is because everybody hit that boulevard and fools was getting chipped off. Everybody hit that boulevard and everybody was getting chipped off, bro. There was so many fools dying on Federal. And that's why they say we can never have good things, bro. We can never have good things because fools be acting up. I don't know how many times we would hit the Federal Boulevard and just see fools we didn't like, and it just turned into some crazy shit on the feds. You don't really see that no more, bro. What up? Yeah, you don't really see that no more at all. They took down all the cruising, bro. They said, no, we ain't allowing people to cruise on Federal no more. Say we ruined a good thing. Because if you are younger and you really didn't get to experience Denver, pretty much you don't know about the cruising that Federal had. Now the cruising consists of low Pisces and racers. It used to be the spot. I'm gonna tap out, y'all. Y'all be good. High salute to everybody. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be cool.